Hi players, bonjour from Geneva, my name is Safir and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today I'm going to have you a playthrough for Ravohria that is published by 91 Games. This is a new project that you can check out on Gamefound. I'm going to attach a link down below. As always, if you learn something new or saw something that you like, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free and it's a huge way to help me out. Ready to see how it goes? Let's get to it. Alright guys, so let's start with going over everything that we can see right now on the board. Now I just remind you that this is a prototype of the game, so components might change from what you can see right now in the video and actually what you're going to have on your table. So let's start with the main board that we have over here, and that is of course one of the many possible layouts that we'll have for our gaming area. Now this is going to be a layout that is more suitable for beginners, but of course if you would like to have something else, feel free to consult the rulebook for different layouts for intermediate or even expert mode. Now this layout has a few elements, so let's start with the base that we have over here, and that is going to be the starting point for our mercenaries. As you can see, all of these Sentinel mercenaries, the towers over here, are basically standees, but just because of the angle of the camera, I decided to lay them down. Over here with this cube, we can basically track the power of the patrol. Then we're going to have the different spaces that our mercenaries will be able to walk into, and also we have something here that is called cores. Those are something that we'll be able to engage with. They're going to give us different possibilities, and we're going to take them and place them later on our player board. Also, we have some spaces that are called interferences, and those are basically spaces that we cannot walk into unless, of course, we're going to remove them with different actions that we'll be able to take during the game. Over here at the top of the board, we have 4 tower cards that are going to be random, of course. At the top left corner of your screen, you can see the different resources that we have in this game. We have 4 types of crystals, with the pink crystal is worth 1 energy, the teal and the orange worth 2 energy, and the green crystal that is worth 3 energy, and also is kind of a joker. That means that it can replace any other crystal that we have. We have over here something that is called Nox and something that is called Illusions. Next to it, we have 3 types of cards. One of them is going to be called Arcane. We have Resource. This is something that is going to help us to a little bit build our engine. And also we have here Origin cards. To the other side of the board, we can see that we have something that is called Kinetic cards, and also 4 Kinetic cards that are starting the game randomly, of course, open. And that is something that we'll be able to draft from in one of the phases of the game. On top of the different cards, we have here the 2 player boards, so you can understand that this is going to be a playthrough for 2 players. We have Mr. Schwet over here that is going to be my opponent, and we have my player board over here. Next to the player board, we're going to have the randomly dealt leader card that is, of course, hidden information from the opponent. Just for you guys, I'm going to show that the leader that Mr. Schwet has is the hunter, that is the green character over here. And I'm going to have a different leader that is the ghost, the white leader that you can see. On the player board themselves, we have something that is called a capsule. That is again something that is going to be dealt randomly at the beginning of the game. And we have here the different crystals that this capsule is going to generate in one of the first phases of your turn. Next, over here, we have something that is called the Sun token. That is basically the first player token that is also going to indicate if we're in the day phase or we're in the moon phase, the night phase that we have over here. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it soon enough. And we have also a few tokens and indicators on the player board. Some of them are going to be the leader tokens, and that is something that is going to be completely similar in both players. Of course, if we have more players, those are going to be laid out exactly as is, and it's going to help us track who are the real leader of the opponent, which is something that we should aspire as one of our goals, because it is going to score for us some victory points at the end of the game. Over here, we have the action tokens. Those are the different actions that we'll be able to take during the game. Every time that we'll take an action, we're going to flip this token to the other side just to show that this action has been used. Also, we have here 3 parameters. One of them is the life. When your life is going to hit 0, you're basically dead. So yes, we have here player elimination in this game. Also, we have something that is called adrenaline and something that is called knowledge. On top of that, we have this token over here that is called power. But don't worry, you guys, we're going to see most of the things in this game. And this might be a good time to tell you that we do have here a lot of elements. We have here a lot of cards from different types. We'll probably not be able to see everything that we have in this game, so just pay attention. This is not a classic how to play. Feel free to check out that video as well on YouTube. This is just to show you how the game kind of flows and what are the different phases, etc. I will try to show you as many examples as possible. In Ravohria, our goal is basically to start walking with our mercenary from, again, the bottom part of the board and go out from this location that is really is packed with a lot of bad things for us. And we're going to try and move all the way across the board until we're going to actually exit it. That basically means that we went out from this location, and once a player is going to go out from the playing area, that basically means that this player has finished playing. And later, when all the players are going to go out from the board or die, basically, this is when we're going to score the victory points. And we're going to score victory points for different elements. Some of them are going to be general points. That is something that is known for all the players. On top of that, each leader has their own personal goals, a main objective, and of course some extra ways to earn victory points. And trust me, you guys, this really can make the difference between winning or losing the game. Regarding to how the game actually goes, we have here basically a sequence of rounds. Each round is called a day. Each day is divided into 2 turns. We have the sunlight and the moonlight. That is again what I have indicated over here. So I kind of mixed up the names a little bit. I apologize for that. And all the phases that we have basically are written on the token. We're going to start with a draw phase where players will be able to draw some different cards. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it really in 2 more minutes. Then we're going to have the generic phase. This is where the players are going to generate the different crystals, either at the beginning of the game, of course, from what they have on their player board right now with a capsule. But later, when you're going to start building your engines with more resources and different cards, you will be able to produce a little bit more things. Then we're going to move on to the activation phase. That is something that connects to the origin cards that we have over here. And then we're going to go to the sunlight phase. That is basically where we're going to take up to 3 actions. And I'm saying up to because it's really not mandatory to take 3 actions. You can take less, of course. Some elements are going to allow you to even take more actions. And then after all the players have finished, of course, with the turn order, we're going to flip this token to the other side. Then we'll be able to take 3 more actions or up to 3 more actions. And after that, the round or that day has finished, and the token is going to go to the next player clockwise, where we're going to start another day. And with that, guys, I think that we're ready to at least start playing the game and see a little bit how everything works. So let's start, of course, with Mr. Shwet over here. That is going to be our first player, and we're going to start with the draw phase. So over here with the draw phase, we're going to first of all draw 2 cards from either the origin deck or resource deck in any combination. Then we're going to draw 2 kinetic cards from either the revealed market that we have right over here, or we can take the top card that we have. Every time that we're going to take one of the revealed cards, we're going to immediately replace it with another card, so we can again choose what we would like to take. And really, you can draw cards at no specific order. That means that you can take one of the resource cards and then go to the kinetic cards. It really doesn't matter. And I'm just going to remind you that in this game, we have a limit of 6 cards in our hands. That is only when your specific turn starts. So even if you find yourself at the beginning of the turn with 6 cards and now you're going to draw 4 more, that is absolutely fine. So we're going to start with Mr. Shwet taking actually 2 resource cards that we have over here. It is going to stay hidden, but just for the sake of this playthrough, I am going to place it face up so we can see a little bit what's going on. So let's actually place these 2 cards here, and you know what? Everything that we'll be able to see on top of the board is going to be actually the hidden cards, so it's going to make a little bit more sense for us as we're going to see the game. So they have drawn 2 cards from the resource deck, and now they need to choose 2 kinetic cards. They're going to take one card over here that we have, teleport, and we're going to replace it immediately with another one. And now Mr. Chouette doesn't like what he sees over here in the open market, so they're going to draw another card from here, and they're going to place it in their hand, of course. I'm going to work a little bit differently. I'm going to take one resource card that I have over here, one origin card, and also I'm going to take two kinetic cards. I think I'm going to take this one that we have over here, immediately replace it with another card. I really think that I should have shuffled the cards a little bit better, but in any case, I'm going to take this card as well, just so we will have some variety. So let's place these two cards over here, and with that, guys, we have basically finished the draw phase, and we're going to go to the generic phase, which is of course something that we should do at the same time. It doesn't really matter, but just to show you how it goes, let's go one by one. So Mr. Chouette over here is going to take one orange crystal and one blue crystal. We can place these two right over here, and for me, I'm going to draw two pink crystals and one blue. So let's place this over here, and we're going to move on to the next phase, which is the activation phase. Obviously, we don't have here anything to activate, so we're going to move on to the sunlight phase, where Mr. Chouette is going to decide how many actions and which ones he would like to take, up to 3, of course. So we're going to start, of course, with something that is very simple, and that is movement. We have 2 tokens of movement, so let's exhaust one of them, flipping it to the other side. Mr. Chouette is going to play the yellow mercenary, I'm going to play the blue one, and here I just want to correct a small mistake. The Sentinel is actually going to start right over here where the players are situated, so not in the first one, over here. So when you're doing a movement, you can move to an adjacent space, adjacent hexagon from your location. Since we're all starting over here, Mr. Chouette basically can decide to go to any one of these spaces right over here. Again, I remind you that interferences are not locations that you can go into. So what they're going to do is to start by taking their mercenary, and they're going to go over here, for example. Now, movement doesn't have to be going only forward. You can go backwards as well, of course. You're going to see that this might be a little bit of a difficult decision to take, just because the Sentinel is going to threaten us quite a bit, but this is something that we're going to see a little bit later. So right now, we have the yellow mercenary, Mr. Chouette, that is situated over here, and the next action that I would like to show you is something that is called engage. So for now, we're going to take this token right over here, we're going to exhaust it, and let's see what is this going to give us. So when a player is engaging with a core that they have in their location, first of all, what they're going to do is going to take this core and they're going to place it over here on their player board. Now, each core is going to give you a different advantage. The green core, that is called Betrayal. With that, we can take a look at the first 3 cards of a Kinetic, Origin, or Resource cards. We're going to draw one of them, and the rest of them we're going to put in their respective discard pile. Then we'll be able to move a leading player back to board steps. Obviously, we cannot do that right now. Or instead of doing those things, we can gain 1 adrenaline and then move a last player forward 1 board step. So you know what, just to show you how it goes, let's actually move the adrenaline 1 step forward. That is this marker that we have over here. Later we're going to see what does it actually do. And also we're going to take the last player and we're going to move it forward 1 step. So basically, this is where they take that kind of cutthroat thing that we're going to have in this game, because you can really mess up with other players. Again, I'm not here to give you any kind of strategical advice, just to show you how the game goes. So the yellow player decides to take me, and they're going to place me right over here on this space. Now the yellow player does have the option to take 1 more step, and I think what they're going to do is to take another movement that we have over here, and they decided to go over here to this space to advance 1 step forward. Just for the explanation, the yellow player could have went over here because each space can hold up to 2 players. They could have gone over here to this place, but they have decided to move forward. And with that, guys, we have basically finished the turn of the yellow player. But before that, I would like to talk to you about other things that we have in this game, and those are the free actions. So every time that we have one of the cards over here, and you can see that at the bottom right side of the card, we have basically a resource. So at any time that we want, that is a free action, we can take one of these cards, place it in the discard pile, and take the resources that are stated over there. In our case, that is going to be 2 knocks that we're going to take from the main supply, and we're going to place it with us. Now we can move over to me, that is the blue player of course, and I'm going to start actually by discarding this card over here. So I'm going to place it just like this, and I'm going to take the resources that we have over here. In our case, it's going to be 1 blue crystal and also 1 illusion. Let's place it right over here with us. And what I will decide to do on my turn is first of all engage with the core that I have on my space. So let's flip this one to the other side. And the red core is called Deception, and it says that when we're engaging, we're going to take 3 illusions. So first of all, let's take this core from here, and we're going to place it on our player board, just like this. And we're going to collect 3 illusions, placing it in our supply. Now I have here 4 illusions. Let's see a little bit what we can do with that, and I would like to show you something that is called torture. For that, we'll need to discard 2 of our illusions. So let's take 2 illusions and we're going to place it back in the main supply. And we need to torture the least tortured player that we have on the board. Of course, since this is only a 2-player game, that we're going to torture the yellow player. So first of all, as the person who is doing the torture, you're going to increase your knowledge, which is this track right over here. You're going to increase it up by 1. So from 0, we're going to go up to 1. And now the player that is being tortured needs actually to flip one of the leader markers that we have over here. And that is, of course, one of the markers that is not their leader. So the yellow player right over here needs to turn over to the other side any one of these leaders besides the hunter, of course, because that is their leader. So the yellow player decides to flip over to the other side this leader token that is called Trojan. So they're going to flip it to the other side. And now I know that the yellow player has a leader card that is not this one. That is something that is going to help us later when we're going to have an accuse action. You guessed it, right? That is where we're going to try and guess which one is the leader of this player. And just for you to know, once we have narrowed it down and we have only 2 tokens that are not flipped, that player cannot be tortured anymore and can only be the target for accusation. The next action that I would like to do is to start moving. So let's take 1 and move over here, right? I cannot right now move over here to the interference, and I'm actually going to do it again. So I'm moving just like this, and I think that I'm going to move to the location of the yellow player, maybe kind of laying down the ground for a later duel that we're going to have. And with that, guys, I have performed my 3 actions, and that signifies the end of the light phase that we have over here of the sun. And we're going to move over to the moon phase that we have. That is the second part that we have in a day. So now again, the yellow player can perform up to 3 actions. Let's see how it's going to go. The first thing that the yellow player would like to do is to take these 2 knocks and actually convert it to 1 green crystal. So we're going to place it right over here. We're going to take 1 crystal from the main supply, and we're going to place it next to us. This green crystal, as a reminder, is worth 3 energy, and also it's kind of a joker for all the other crystals. So now Mr. Shoot would like to show you how they're going to kind of build their engine by doing another free action. And just in case it wasn't really clear for now, everything basically will be considered as a free action as long as we didn't do something that is regarding to the 6 tokens that we have over here. So what they would like to do is kind of adding this card, the resource card, to their playing area. So next time they're going to generate crystals, they're going to have a little bit more. So in order to do that, they will need to pay the resources that we can see at the top left corner of the card, and that is 1 blue crystal and 1 pink crystal. So 1 blue crystal, there is no problem, they have it, right? No problem. They don't have a pink crystal. What they do have is a green crystal that, as we said, is actually a joker. So we're going to put it back in the main supply, and this card now becomes visible to all the other players and is going to be added right next to the player board, just like this. And with that, actually, the yellow player would like to show you another thing that we have, and that is a duel. Now, the duel, of course, can occur only when we have two players that are situated on the same space. So let's talk about it a little bit and see how combat actually goes. They're going to flip this token to the other side, right? They're going to exhaust it, and now we're going to go to combat. When we're starting a duel, we have here some sort of a small procedure that is going to start with the initiator of the combat and is going to go, of course, to the other player, right? We have duel only between two players. That is going to change a little bit when we're going to have maybe some combat with a patrol, but hopefully we're going to see it a little bit later. So the first thing that we need to see is what is the power that the initiator would like to use. And we have here a few elements. First of all, some cards like this one that we have over here will be able to give us some power. And that is going to happen when we're going to tap this card. That means that we have decided to use this power that we have at the bottom right corner of the card. But again, since neither players have actually cards that they can use, we're going to skip it for now. Then again, the initiator will need to decide if they would like to use some of the power that is situated over here. And we have two elements that are going to contribute to this power. We have the adrenaline, that is a passive power that is going to be added to one of the dice. So that means that it's going to be there for you all the time. So right now the player is going to have one power, right? Because we have one adrenaline that is passive. Me on the other side, I'm going to have one knowledge. So in order for me to use that, I need to flip this power token to the other side, to the exhausted side. So again, the initiator needs to decide regarding all the power that they would like to use, and then the person that is being attacked is going to take the same decision. Obviously, that is going to be a more informed decision after seeing what the initiator of the duel has made. Then what is going to happen is that, again, the initiator is going to choose which die they would like to use. We have here three options. The black die that has the lower numbers is always free, so you can always use it. If you would like to use this die, the purple one, you will need to discard one kinetic card from your hand. If you would like to use the orange die, that is the highest numbers, you will need to discard two kinetic cards. So right now, Mr. Shwet feels kind of good. They would not like to discard their kinetic card, so they're going to use the black die. Me, on the other hand, I feel not the best, so I am going to discard one kinetic card. We're going to place it right over here in the discard pile, and I'm going to have the purple die. Now basically what we need to see is to roll the dice and see who is going to be the winner. That is, of course, the person that has the highest number. So Mr. Shwet, the yellow player, is going to roll their die, and they have 1. So 1 plus 1 from the adrenaline, that is 2. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to have 1, as we remember over here. I'm going to roll the die, and I have here also 1, so that is a tie. When we have a tie, what we need to do is to take all 3 dice, and each player is going to roll these dice on their turn with the higher number that is going to win. So the yellow player is going to roll the dice, and we have here 3, 2, and 1, that is 6. And then I'm going to roll the dice, and we have over here 8. So in this duel, I'm the winner, and then we have some things that we need to resolve. So the first thing that is going to happen is that the winner can steal one of the cores of the loser. Obviously, right now, the yellow player has only 1 core, so they're going to take this core and they're going to add it right over here to their player board. Now what they can do is to choose one of the cores that they have on their player board and do something that is called to encrypt it. That basically means, again, you can choose any one of the cores that you have right now on your player board and move it to the other side, flip it to the other side, sorry. So we're going to do something like this. Nobody besides that player will be able to see what is the core. Of course, now it's a little bit simple because we have only 1 and we can all remember that it's the green one. But when we have more players, more cores, more interactions, you're going to lose track over the encrypted cores of the other players. Not only that only you are going to have access to this encrypted core. Also, an encrypted card can never be stolen if you're going to lose a duel. After that, the player that has lost the duel is going to take something that is called the die of punishment, and they're going to roll it. Obviously, we have different outcomes, but what I would like to emphasize right now is that the result that we have, we can go again to the list, of course, and we saw before what happens when we engage, right? That was with the green text, and now we're going to see what happens when you're actually having the result of the punishment, and that is the control. So here what it says, that you're going to steal 2 cards from the targeted player. So basically, right now, the player that has won, of course, because this is the targeted player, right? They were targeted with the die of punishment. The winner is going to steal 2 cards from the yellow player. Unfortunately, that is all the cards that they have. So both of these cards, of course, are going to move right now to the blue player, to me. And I just remind you, of course, that these cards are still hidden from the other players. And with that, guys, we have finished the turn of the yellow player, and we're going to move on to me, to the blue player. Now, with the situation right now, I would not like to create another duel, and I don't really have a kinetic card that I would like to play. So I decide to simply pass my turn, and with that actually finishing the first day. So what is going to happen now is that this token right over here is going to flip again to the other side. We're going to place it next to me to signify that I'm the first player of the next round. And also we're going to reset this power token that we have over here. And also the Sentinel is going to move 1 step forward, just like this. And we're going to place 1 illusion to the left side of the board over here, because later, every time that a Sentinel passes and advances to another level, the levels that below it, we will not be able to access them. So that is kind of the timer mechanism that we have in this game, because all the time just the Sentinel is going to push forward. And even though we're not going to see it in this playthrough, just for you to know that when the Sentinel reaches one of the towers, they're simply going to advance 1 step more. So from here, they're going to skip directly to this level, for example. So now we're going to start another day basically, and we're going to start from the draw phase. So what I would like to do first of all is to draw 2 kinetic cards from here. I'm going to draw 1 and place it, of course, in my hands. And then I'm going to draw another one from here. So let's place it just like this. And also I would like to draw probably 2 resource cards. So let's take both of them and see what's going on. And after that, of course, it's going to be the turn of the yellow player to do the same thing. So let's take, they really wanted this teleport card that we had there before. I'm going to open a new one. And I think they're just going to draw another card that they have over here. And we're going to take 1 origin card. Let's place it over here. And also 1 resource cards. Okay, perfect. With that, we're going to move on to the next step. That is, of course, the generic phase. So now we're going to, again, generate all the crystals that we have. In my case, of course, we're going to take simply 2 purple, 2 pink crystals, and also 1 blue. And now for the yellow player, they're going to take, of course, what they have on their capsule. So that is 1 blue, 1 teal, and 1 yellow orange. And also we're going to take what they have with a resource card right over here. So that is 1 pink and 1 orange. After that, again, we don't have anything to activate basically, and we're going to move on to taking the actions. Of course, that I obviously forgot to flip all these tokens again to their normal side, to their active side, so I apologize for that. I should have done it when we finished the last round. And we're going to move with that to the first action that I would like to take. So as a free actions, of course, I would like to discard the teleport card that we have over here in order to take 1 teal crystal. And also I would like to get rid of this kinetic card in order to take 1 knock. So I'm going to take this black cube, I'm going to place it right next to me. As the first action that I would like to take, I'm going to move. So I'm going to move right over here. Then I would like to engage, so I'm going to flip this token just like this, and I'm going to engage with this purple core that we have. So first of all, I'm going to, of course, place it on my board. And now when we're going to check what does it mean to engage with this core, we can see that to engage means that we're going to collect 3 knocks, so that's pretty sweet. Let's take 1, 2, and 3, just like this. Now I would like to show you a little bit how I can do something with all the resources that I have over here. So again, I'm going to take you to the table, and I'm going to show you that on the knock list, for each 2 knocks that I'm going to put back in the main supply, I can take 1 green crystal. So with these 4 knocks, of course, I can take 2 green crystals. So now I would like to play one of the origin cards that we have over here. That is one of the cards that we drew actually in the last round. And we can see that we have here a price right at the top left corner of the card. We can see that we need to pay 2 of these pink crystals, no problem with that. 1 blue, again, no problem. And then we have 2 yellow crystals that we actually don't have, so we can use the 2 green crystals that we have over here. So all of this is going to go back to the main supply, of course, and this card actually comes to play. Now it's going to be revealed basically to all the players, so we can place it right over here. And we have here 2 interesting things. First of all, with the text itself, we can see that this card is called Anonymous, and also we have here some text: those who incorrectly accuse you lose an extra life. Remaining unidentified earns you an extra 5 points. On top of that, as you can see at the bottom right corner of the card, we have here a number. That is something that is going to be added to our power, just like we've seen before in combat. Either it's going to be duel or patrol, and we can just tap this card in order to use the power that we have over here, and that is going to be refreshed after we have finished that day. And since it is not a kinetic card, that is again one of the free actions. But because I do want to show you how I'm playing a kinetic card, so first of all, of course, I have to flip this token right over here. Then I'm going to play this card that is called Control. So I'm going to discard, of course, 1 blue and 1 pink crystals back to the main supply. And let's read it together. Move target opponent 1 board space. If the board space has a core, trigger its control effect and the core remains on the board. And that has the range of 1. So since we are actually in the range of 1 as we have over here, that is absolutely something that I can do. So what I will decide to do is to move the yellow player over here to this patrol core, and I'm going to activate, of course, its control. So that means again steal 2 cards from the targeted player. Wow, the yellow player does not have a lot of luck with it, of course. So this card now can go back to the discard pile, just like this. And we're going to randomly, of course, choose 2 cards. So, I don't know, let's take this one and this one as well, just to show you that the yellow player really doesn't have a lot of luck. And those cards are going to be added over here. And with that, guys, actually, I finished doing the 3 actions. There is nothing else that I would like to do. And the turn is going to move over to the yellow player. Now, the yellow player is kind of hurt, to be honest with you. The first thing that they would like to do is to play a card, a resource card. So they're going to place it right over here, of course, by paying the price. That is 3 orange crystals and 1 blue. So you can see that even though they're kind of hurt, obviously, they are building their engine quite strongly, and to have 2 resource cards, it's already quite strong. I remind you that we have nothing. We're only dependent on whatever we have on our capsule, and of course the cards that we can discard in order to take some resources. So the yellow player would like to show you how they're going to engage the patrol core. And this is going to trigger something pretty interesting that I would like to show you. So first of all, they have to, of course, engage. That means flip this token to the other side. And we can see that with the patrol, first of all, that player is going to gain 1 knowledge and 1 adrenaline. So pretty awesome. 1 adrenaline and 1 knowledge. And on top of that, now all players are called to fight the patrol. So this is probably maybe the only mechanic that we have over here that is going to contribute to a little bit cooperation between the players, and let's see how it goes. So now the person that triggered this core is going to decide how much they would like to invest again with their cards maybe, or their knowledge and so on. And I remind you that adrenaline is a passive thing. That means that it's always going to be contributed into the power. So we have already 2 and they would like to use their knowledge. So they're going to flip this token to the other side. They don't have cards that they can tap, and also, unfortunately, they don't have cards that they can discard, right? Because we have here an origin card. So that means that we only can use the black die that we have over here. Now the next player in clockwise order is going to choose if they would like to participate in this combat or not. If they don't want to participate, they need to roll the black die, and that is going to be added to the power of the patrol. But here in this case, they would like to participate in this combat because they feel like they have a pretty good stats. So what we're going to do is, first of all, flip our token to the other side to have at least 1 power. Then we're going to tap this card to have 3 more power. So already we're holding at 4. And on top of that, since they do have a lot of kinetic cards, let's see where is the other one, they're going to discard 2 kinetic cards in order to roll the orange die. So that is going to be quite a lot for them. Now, collectively, they need to be stronger than the power of the Sentinel. And we have here some sort of a formula to understand what is the power. First of all, something that I forgot to do, and I apologize, that the moment that we're engaging with a yellow core, we need to take this marker and move it 1 step to the right. Now, obviously, it's not going to change anything, but later you can see that it's going to become more and more difficult. So that is basically going to be their level. So we have level times the number of players that are participating in the combat. In our case, it's 2, so that means that it's 4. Plus all the players that are not participating in the combat that rolled the black die. But again, we have 0, so their power is going to stay 4. So collectively, we'll need to match or exceed, of course, the power of the patrol. Let's see what's going to happen. Here we have already 3. Plus 2, that is 5. So we already know that we're going to win, but still it's very important that we're going to roll these dice as well to see who is going to contribute more to the specific combat. So we already know that we have here 1 plus 3, that is 4. And we're going to roll the dice and we have here 4, so that is 8, obviously. I have contributed more than the yellow player. Before we're going to actually resolve the outcome of the combat, of course, that I forgot to take this score since I have engaged with it, of course, the yellow player, and they're going to add it right over here to their player board. And now, basically, the players are going to see who is going to receive which rewards. The player that contributed the most power, that is going to be, again, the blue player, will be able to draw 1 arcane card, which is probably the most powerful cards that we have over here. That is going to go hidden into their hand, but we're going to place it face up, of course. And just for you to understand what we have over here, this card, for example, that is called Vortex Instability, reposition up to 2 interferences within a range of 3. At the end of the game, each arcane card is going to be worth 2 victory points to the player that has it. And now we're going to see what is the yellow player going to receive. So the second player is going to draw 2 origin cards. So 1, 2, and we're going to place it right over here. So that was the first action that the yellow player took. Now they're going to take 1 more and they're going to move 1 step over here to the left. And with that, they have decided to pass their turn. So now we're going to flip this token to the other side. And now the blue player will be able to again take up to 3 actions if they wish to. The blue player would like to move 1 step, so they're going to just go over here. And now they would like to use their arcane power, not necessarily because it's going to give them something, just because I want to show you as many things as possible. So we can reposition again up to 2 interferences within the range of 3. So what we're going to do is to take this one and move it 1 and 2. And then I think what we were going to do is to move this one 1 step over here. And also I think that we're going to take this one and move it 1 step over here, just to make the life of the yellow player a little bit more difficult, maybe. I don't know, just an example. This card, now that we have finished using it, we're simply going to turn it to the other side and place it somewhere next to our playing area. With that, the blue player is passing and we're going to move back to the yellow player. I think what they're going to do is pass, just because I would like to show you something at the end of the day. And now that we're passing and we're basically finishing the day, the Sentinel is going to move one step forward. Again, we're going to place an illusion right over here. And since now the yellow player is situated in the same row as the Sentinel, unfortunately, that is going to cause them to lose one life. Now, something cool that we have over here, that the yellow player on their turn will be able to take this 2 adrenaline, put it back at 0 in order to gain 1 life back. So again, I remind you guys, once your life hits 0, you're out of the game. You're completely dead. That is a player elimination. But it is good to know that there are possibilities to gain this life back. Just need to pay a little bit of attention. And it's also good for all the players, basically, that the yellow player has engaged the patrol token. Otherwise, if we have in the same row a Sentinel and a patrol token, patrol core, then all the players are going to be affected by it. And with that, we're simply going to refresh this token, moving it back again to the yellow player. All the tokens are going to be refreshed as well, and the cards that we have used. And with that, guys, we are ready to start another day in the killer fields over here that we have by the Ravohria family. But I think that I'm going to stop the playthrough right over here. Hopefully you learned a little bit how this game goes, saw a little bit what are the different phases and how we can maybe build our engine, engage in combats, a little bit of the take that and the cutthroat elements that we have over here. I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned something new, or so something that you like. Take care, and I'll see you next time.